But you guys are the official reason why Travis Barker is in Blink-182 and why Scott Raynor got kicked out. So
why he's a cop. Yeah, that's 100% our fault. And the fact that now I don't drink is, and we also have based our entire career around promoting drinking with various jingles. So I was on tour with the Lagwagon dudes, and we were talking about Blink-182 because they did something recently, I think, and we're looking at the dates of when Scott left and Travis Barker joined Blink-182. And it was really close to us going on tour with Blink-182 in America. We did a couple of tours with them.
With Less Than Jake, was it?
Less Than Jake at the start. Yeah. We were touring with Less Than Jake. But then, Blink-182 joined, and it was just after they got massive. So they were suddenly, they were headlining the tours, like the shows got made heaps bigger. And we were this crappy little Australian band was going, why are we suddenly playing these giant halls in LA or whatever?
Give it up for Frenzal Rhomb. Those guys are fucking awesome. Fuck. We're stoked to be on tour with those guys.
Friend. So we did that, and then we came back and did another tour that they were playing on as well. And Scotty even took us down to Tijuana. So we played in San Diego, some festival there, and then Scott took us down. Scott Raynor took us down to Tijuana for the night, wearing Mexican hats, seeing the worst tourists in the world. Jason thought he was back in America and took a piss on the side of the road, discovered he was in Mexico. They tried to steal his passport. The cops tried to steal his passport, all that sort of thing. Excellent fun. And then the next thing we knew, suddenly Blink-182 had a new drummer. So I don't know. I feel like we may have some kind of vague culpability for that. I mean, it's probably worked out quite well for Mark and Tom. And also Scotty's now a cop. So I think that's probably also our fault. So I'm really sorry that if he is, all cops are bastards.
So did you get along with those guys when you were touring with them, or was there not too much interaction?
Oh, with Scotty heaps. The other two were literally so busy because they just become the biggest punk band in the world, and so they had.
I'm assuming he was one that could handle his drinks, Scott Raynor.
Well, we certainly tested that theory. He was fine. The other two barely drank. I mean, they did. That was back in the day when Captain Morgan Spiced rum was the thing that everyone drank, and we couldn't afford it, so we used to steal it off their rider every night, and they didn't seem to mind. Like, as in Mark and Tom didn't seem to mind, and obviously Scott was drinking it with us. So that was fine. No, it's like at the time, we would always complain that these bands we toured with, Less Than Jake were great because we were kind of the same nonsense as they were. But first of all, Blink-182, then Real Big Fisher we toured with as well, would complain about us kind of being pricks, and we would whinge, we would just be like, oh man, these bloody people. Then looking back on it, we were absolute terrors. I'm sad to say it, but with 30 years of experience, Americans aren't funny. And the other problem is also that, with the exception of a few people like that, Mike, they're not very good at drinking either. The frat party thing is absolutely true. It's all red cups and fucking, jocks and alpha males and stuff. Not all, but but the drinking culture is so different. It's almost like a frat party is like this once a month thing in America. Sure. So, you're on tour with Americans and like, oh, dude, we got a day off coming up at the end of the month. We're going to get so lit. That is in fact, I think Less Than Jake even had a title. It was the Night of Reckless Abandonment. That was what they would look forward to. And for us, it is 24 hours of reckless abandonment every single day of the 90s. And these people would just, they could not understand how our drinking culture is just, you're awake, so you drink. And that seemed, and somehow we survive. Americans seem to save it all up for this one day when they're going to,
let loose, aren't they?
Yeah, I can't say. I mean, at the time, we were probably trying to be heaps tough. And so, say, oh, what is that? This bloody pop punk rubbish. They are excellent songwriters. And I do love the way they've managed to turn, essentially a stage show, which is making jokes about people's mums and this and all that into millions and millions of dollars. So very well done. Also, our bass player, Dal, is a mad Blink-182 fan, so I shouldn't be too... Yes. But I think it's excellent, and it's a testament to Blink-182 that all of their other bands, all of their other side projects, from the Transplant to Boxcar Race to the Plus 44, Angels and Airwaves, are all absolute dog shit. I think that's sort of a testament to the power of Blink-182